All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Depends on where you're logging in from on this big blue spaceship hurtling through the universe. Let's go ahead and get airborne. Welcome aboard. I'm really excited for this brief. It's time for our quarterly Death Star brief. And I need you to sit up straight and pay attention. Make sure you silence all your electronic nicotine. No distractions. Why? Because you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. I guarantee you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. As a matter of fact, you've heard the exact opposite. Okay, so make sure you sit up straight and let's go ahead and get airborne. Can everybody hear me loud and clear? Give me a virtual head nod or thumbs up. I want to make sure everybody's got me loud and clear. Still have some people logging in. Everybody got me? Yep. Good. Awesome. Thank you, Ann, Rolando, David, Sandra. Let's go ahead and get airborne. Sweet. Good to go. So first of all, in case you don't have Star Wars nerds for children like I do, or if you're my age, you're of my advanced age, you obviously know what Star Wars is. Man, what a franchise. But you've heard of the Death Star, right? This space station, the size of a moon, right? That's no moon. That's a space station, said Obi-Wan Kenobi. This thing took over the universe. Well, where's it got blown up? Well, it got blown up a couple times, right? Not really. It survived. It got bigger and stronger and more lethal. That's what this stock is. That's the best analogy I can give you. This stock is literally the Death Star. If you're not familiar with Top Gun options, I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro here in a couple seconds. But as the name implies, Top Gun, a little bit of an aviation theme to our organization here. So I'm going to start this brief with a question. I'm going to give you multiple choice. Which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? Wiz, I'm not a pilot. I would know. Yeah, you would. Let's just, if you know nothing about aviation, I'm going to give you two choices and let's see which one you would pick. This one. That's your first choice. This is the cockpit of an F-4 Phantom, monster airplane, monster fighter jet. Looking at that cockpit actually makes my heart race, and not in a good way. Why? There's over 300 switches and dials in that cockpit. Okay, very labor-intensive aircraft. Matter of fact, so labor-intensive, they threw another dude in the airplane in the back seat just to run the radar. Extremely labor-intensive aircraft, folks. The pilot would spend a lot of time what we call heads out or heads down in the cockpit instead of eyeballs out, right? Looking at all this stuff instead of looking for enemy aircraft or surface-to-air missiles or AAA anti-aircraft artillery. So that's your first choice. Or would you rather fly that? This cockpit is the F-35, the Joint Strike Fighter, the Lightning II. You ready for this? 2 flat panel displays. Does anybody see any steam gauges in that cockpit? 0. Not one steam gauge in that cockpit, ladies and gentlemen. This jet is the Wonder Woman jet. It's invisible to radar, and it's pretty damn cool. The pilot, I'm going to show you what the pilot looks like. When they look down, they don't see jet. They see the ground. They see threats all over their visor. And you want to talk about something really creepy? It's learning. This jet learns what the pilot's doing or looking at different portions of the flight and puts it in the memory and goes, I'm going to remember that for next time, and gets smarter. Really cool until it becomes self-aware and kills all of us, but that's a separate brief. But clearly, ladies and gentlemen, if you're flying into combat, and trading is a form of combat, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to get their ass kicked. Which aircraft would you fly? It's obviously the F-35. Take a look. You know, if we're talking about Darth Vader right there, look at his helmet. Down there on the bottom right is the F-35 helmet. The helmet itself, I have a couple helmets from when I was flying F-18s all over my office here. You ain't taking this one home when you're done flying the F-35. I think it's $500,000 just for the helmet. It's pretty damn cool. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. Here we go. My promise by the end of this brief, it's not a long, it's called a brief. We're going to talk about what's going on in the markets right now. I love that the S&P 500 imploded today on soft. Wait, I thought it was good inflation numbers today. Nope. Well, it was good, but other than that, Mrs. Kennedy, how was the parade? It's bad. I'm going to show you the only stock you need to own and why that doesn't sit well with some of you, and you need to learn the truth and a good substitute to trade in case you don't like this stock. It's got a great substitute to trade. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have like 300 new people that have never even heard of TOPGUN Option registered for this brief. So I'm going to give you a quick intro, man, about me. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. I flew the F-18 Hornet about 15 years for the United States Navy, graduated from the Top Gun course as an adversary, and flew combat sorties over Iraq in support of Operation Southern Watch, and was also mobilized for Operations Noble Eagle and Enduring Freedom. What the hell does that have to do with trading? Everything, folks. In the blink of an eye, on the morning of September 11th, my first scheduled flight as a pilot for American Airlines, boom, raced out to the Naval Air Station, ended up, along with F-16s, manning a combat air patrol over the Southwest United States. Lost my job in the blink of an eye, went to Wall Street. I taught myself, since I was a young naval officer, how to trade, what stocks were, what options were, and I applied everything that I was learning as a fighter pilot to my trading. As I told you, trading is a form of combat, folks. Why wouldn't you use the same methodologies and procedures and checklists that I used over the skies of Iraq in your trading? Having a strategic plan, having tactics that support that, managing risk, contingency planning, knowing when to get out of something bad or even good before it's too late. I applied it to my trading with incredible results, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms, headquartered right there in the Chicago Board of Trade. Man, it literally was it was an interesting time, folks. I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build the retail brokerage that some of you might have traded at years ago called Options House. And I was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network. We were kind of the CNBC for options. All we did was talk about options 24/7 from the floor of the CBOE and also on the CBOT. I gave folks like you a behind the scenes look at what was going on in the options market. I just had an absolute blast when I was there. And I often joke with people that I literally was Eddie Murphy in trading places. I was Valentine, right? Little old homeless guy on the streets. I don't know anything about Wall Street and ended up crushing it. I got to be honest with you, folks. There is no such thing as the smart money. It makes my skin crawl watching CNBC or Fox Business or Bloomberg. Legendary investor or smart money, or folks, I've been there. I've been in these boardrooms and on the trade floor. And guess what? I actually ended up writing a book about the COVID market crash, ladies and gentlemen, because we predicted it essentially to the day. As the so-called smart money told you what? It's Ray Dalio in Davos, right? In January, what was that? 2020, January 22nd, Donald Trump interview from Davos. Dumb question, Joe. No China flu, doesn't exist, not coming to the U.S. I trust Xi, he's a good dude. I looked into this camera and I said, get out. Buy puts on the S&P 500, get long volatility, and we made millionaires at TOPGUN Options. I destroyed it. For the next month, as the market imploded, what did the smart money tell you to do the whole way down? Oh, this is the bottom. Oh, I'd buy here. Definitely the bottom today. Donald Trump, one of his tweets. Stocks are looking good here. I'd definitely be a buyer of stocks here. The next day, the Dow went down 3,000 points. There's your smart money, folks. And then March, what was it, 22nd or something like that? The weekly jobless claims number, 6 million. I was getting ready to hit enter on a massive bearish trade, and Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve chief, came in and dropped the biggest financial nuclear weapon known to man. And I said, delete, get bullish. And the market went straight up. Smart money, absolutely missed it, folks. So we are the smart money. What else do I do? The No Fallen Heroes organization I'll talk to you about in a second. I also have a podcast called the Max Afterburner Podcast. You got to check it out, folks. We are in the top 2.5% of podcasts on the planet. Now, if you're like me, as soon as the studio called and gave you that good news, you had to Google immediately how many podcasts there are in the world. 3.2 million podcasts in the world. So being in the top 2.5%, I am going to say that's pretty damn cool. So make sure you check it out on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart, wherever cool kids listen to podcasts. Finally, one of the most important things in my life that I am so proud to be doing, I run the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. It is a 501c3 pending, still waiting for the IRS to get off their ass, a veteran nonprofit. And we take veterans, first responders, and their families on healing retreats to do psychedelic assisted therapy. There's no way in hell a couple years ago I thought I'd be sitting in a live trade brief getting ready to talk to you about the Death Star, and I'd be introducing you to what I do as essentially my other full-time job. All right, folks, I appreciate you allowing me to show that to you. That's obviously my pride and joy right now. Trying to help veterans and first responders and their families. That's a picture of my family. Obviously, I'm a hell of a lot older. I love that picture, though, because that's as we were leaving Chicago to come down here to Florida, where I started Top Gun options. So cool. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get airborne. And why do I do that, folks? Because it's so interesting whenever, I get asked to speak at other financial events and stuff, and people like introduce themselves and then they get into all the trading and stuff. I'm like, I have no idea who you are. I don't know if you're an idiot or Einstein or anything. So I always give a quick brief of who I am, especially to all the folks who have never heard of Top Gun options before. So want to make sure everybody understands who I am. All right, let's go ahead and get airborne. This is going to blow you away. If you're new to investing, right? And I know we have a lot of new folks joining us on this brief that never even heard of Top Gun options. If you're new to investing, I guarantee you, even if this is your first day, you've heard this before out of investing folks, right? So this is going to be shocking to you, or maybe not. Wall Street is lying to you. One of the toughest transitions in my life was going from a fighter squadron where you trusted the men and women in that squadron with your life, or they weren't in the squadron anymore. They were gone, right? Going from that environment to Wall Street sucked. Those people would push their own mother in front of a bus for $1, and that wasn't me. But anyway, this will make sense to you because you've been lied to since day one of investing. You ever hear this? You can't put all your eggs in one basket. Right? I mean, that's just common sense, Wiz. I've heard that since day one of investing. You have got to do what? You have got to diversify. Diversification is important. Why? The 5 tips to diversify, blah, blah. You've been yelled at to diversify. And ladies and gentlemen, that is an absolute lie. Who's been lying to me, Wiz? That guy. Brokers. Whenever you see the word broker, whether it's a real estate, yacht, or stock, delete the word broker and insert the word commission. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room, or even the movie Wall Street? Commissions. Hey, all right, guys. Open up the phone books and start drunk dialing the ladies from yesterday. The old ladies in tennis shoes. You got them into this stock yesterday. Get them into this one today. It's called churn. They want you in as many names as physically possible, in and out of them, because they get paid. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Wiz, haha, you're wrong because I trade at a commission-free broker. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not paying anything, you are not the customer. You're the product. So don't give me any of your Robinhood stuff. You know who the customer at Robinhood is? It's Ken Griffin from Citadel or Stevie Cohen. If you don't know who the idiot at the poker table is, it's you. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, you do not need to diversify. Diversification is for stupid people. Well, Wiz, that's offensive. All right, let me have an old guy be nicer. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. I want you to to think about that for a second. Yeah, you're kind of right. I know I'm right, folks. I've been doing this for over 3 decades. The only stock you need to own for the rest of your life is Amazon, period. In this brief, you're going to find out how diversified Amazon already is. It went from a dude who used to have hair, like working on with 2 sawhorses with a table selling books, to the Death Star, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at some pictures. This is disgusting, this picture right here. Did you see earnings? We'll talk about earnings last week. This literally, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't go back farther than 2004 because it makes no sense. This is what we call a hockey stick. This is the annual revenue in billions of dollars, folks. And I didn't update it. I mean, we need a new one. It's up here. If you could go back in a time machine and invest in this name back here, you'd be filthy rich, like some of our members are, folks. Even when I launched Solo Amazon years ago, back here, look at this. Since we launched Solo Amazon, we are literally printing money in this name. Let's look at another picture. Annual revenue by segment. Ladies and gentlemen, years ago, AWS, Amazon Web Services, didn't even exist. It was Andy Jassy, the current CEO, and Jeff Bezos in a condo with a whiteboard. They came up with Amazon Web Services, and I have to update this chart too because these segments look like this. Ladies and gentlemen, AWS, Amazon Web Services, is literally Microsoft. Let's look at the next chart. Cloud infrastructure. Look at Amazon, folks. There's Amazon right here. It's beating, that's all kind of Microsoft does. Yeah, and Amazon's beating Microsoft in exactly what they do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is obscene, the growth in Amazon in every one of their sectors. This is why you invest in Amazon, this slide right here. And this slide right here is why Democrats hate Jeff Bezos and Amazon, even though he's a limousine liberal. Why? You ready for this? If you delete the word Amazon on this slide, if you asked Old Wiz, would you invest in the stock? I'd say, okay, let me put my glasses on here and I'd look. Sales. Holy crap, look at the sales. Free cash flow. I would scratch my chin and go, it's a hell of a lot of sales and the free cash flow's down here. All right, it's a lot. And then I'd look down here and see profit and I'd go, nope, not buying this stock. I'd short this stock. It's awful. And I'd be an idiot. Why? Let's dig into this chart. Profit. Amazon doesn't make any money. That's why Democrats hate it. They want to tax the hell out of this company. They can't. Why? Because Jeff Bezos is not an idiot. Jeff Bezos, since day one of Amazon, said what? If I make a buck at Amazon, it's going right back into what? Amazon. I'm going to use that dollar that I just made, and I'm going to buy a competitor. I'm going to put somebody out of business. I'm going to buy another airplane. He reinvests it. He doesn't even, he said since day one, he's like, what the hell's a dividend? Dividends are stupid. Why would I give money, quote, back to the shareholders? They want me to use that money to do something cool with it. So you can't, I love Jeff Bezos, folks. The guy's like, dividends are stupid. And I barely want to make any profit because any money I make, which is filthy money, goes right back into the Death Star. This is the stock you need to own for the rest of your life. Take a look at some of our current solo members. JG, with a small account trading at Wiz's Amazon trades, netted $8,900 in a week. Kristen, you guys are amazing. I trade a smaller account too, and I've done 22 Amazon trades this year for 31 grand. Kristen lives out in San Diego. JG is in Texas. Christine, month-to-date profits on Amazon, 107 with more to go. Thanks, Wiz, for all your expertise and guidance doing the day trades with short calls and to protect my Amazon profits, learning from the best. And then finally, pulling up the rear, saving the best for last, and makes me look like an idiot. And in 3 days, I made 90 grand on short calls against my 30 contracts utilizing Wiz's guidance. These people make me look stupid. Unbelievable. Now, Before we talk about sunshine, lollipops, and unicorns, I always, as a fighter pilot, as your instructor, have to give you the brief, the risks. What are the risks? Wiz, there's got to be some downside to trading just Amazon. Well, of course there is. You ever hear of a small mom and pop company called Lehman Brothers? 150-year-old company gone in 24 hours. How about Bear Stearns? Jim Cramer knows all about Bear Stearns, doesn't he? At the height of the financial crisis, Bear Stearns, it's safe. You're an idiot if you don't put your money in Bear Stearns. A couple days later, it was at zero. Good call, Jim. What about pets.com? A stinky sock puppet and a URL. How about Enron? They were a middleman of electricity. All of these names, these stocks went to what? Zero. I could spend the rest of our 34 minutes together telling you about stocks that have gone to zero, and it would be a waste of time. Why? Because the common theme of stocks that go to zero is what? They didn't own anything, folks. It looks like Lehman Brothers didn't even own the sign on the building. They didn't own anything. Enron didn't even own the building they were in. Pets.com, a stinky sock. They didn't own stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Amazon owns a shitload of stuff. I did consulting. And crypto too. I always forget to. I should delete the slide because it's a joke. But crypto can go to zero too. But ladies and gentlemen, Amazon owns things like physical things. I did consulting years ago for an Amazon fulfillment company outside of Miami International Airport, and the warehouse made an aircraft carrier look small and boring. It was packed. Look at that. They own property. They own airplanes. Full disclosure, I flew for FedEx for 10 months. I hated it. I hated flying from midnight to 8 in the morning and trying to sleep during the day. I left FedEx years ago. A buddy of mine who I started at FedEx with, he made the decision to jump to corporate, man, starting to put on a suit. He became a suit. Called me one day. Dude, who's Jeff Bezos? I'm like, Amazon. He runs Amazon. Why? He's like, I just talked to a buddy of mine in GE aircraft leasing. He's leasing a couple airplanes. I go, he's going to do it. What's he going to do? I'm like, he's going to put you out of business. Oh, whatever, Wiz. Who ended up being right? Amazon is shipping more cargo than UPS. Amazon poised to pass. That's an old headline. Ladies and gentlemen, Amazon Air or Prime Air, whatever they call it, is bigger than FedEx and UPS. What about this news from last week? CVS. I've told my members for years, you want two bearish trades, you want two stocks that will not be in business in a couple of years. CVS and Walgreens. A couple of years ago, Amazon came out with Amazon Pharma. Why are you going to go stand in line at a Walgreens or a CVS when you can order everything on your phone and it'll be here in an hour? It's done with, right? Whoa. All right, Wiz, why did you just shock me with this guy on your screen? Because we're talking about risks, political risk. Does anybody remember when Donald Trump woke up one morning or didn't go to bed, depends on who you believe, picked up his cell phone and started first year of his presidency? Amazon, monopoly. Somebody's got to do something about Amazon. Believe me, Jeff Bezos can't stand the guy. It's a monopoly. What happened? The stock went down a little bit and looked around like, holy shit, are they coming after us? What happened? Nothing. 3 years later, at the end of his presidency, grabbed his phone again. I can't believe it. Amazon's even bigger monopoly. Somebody should do something about it. What happened that day he did that? The stock actually went up and hasn't looked back since. So yes, there is political risk, ladies and gentlemen. FTC and this, and it's a monopoly. Guess what? It's too late. I am old enough to remember what? I'm old enough to remember Standard Oil and Microsoft and IBM and AT&T, right? When Uncle Sam says, you know what, you might be in monopoly, and they start to kind of look into it, what happens? Anywhere, I've done the math, from 5 to 10, on the longest was 15 years, 5, 10, 15 years for Uncle Sam to kind of dig in and look around and come up with we believe you're a monopoly and should be broken up. Guess what Amazon is right now? It's Mercury. If you smashed Amazon and broke it up into its independent companies, you'd make 12 individual monopolies. That's why I call this thing the Death Star. Amazon Air would be its own FedEx. Amazon Prime, the entertainment division, would make Netflix look stupid. Every division that they have, if it was its own separate company, is obscene. I love this post a month ago or 2 months ago from James Woods. Even if you don't like the guy, this was a smart post, because the two ladies at a Lululemon, like in Atlanta, they chased some shoplifters, or they followed shoplifters out to their car and like filmed them and called the cops. And of course, Lululemon fired the employees. Just so everybody understands the game here, Lululemon and these other national brands don't care about theft. Walgreens, CVS. Because A, this crap is in fact virtually worthless, and B, they would rather sell it online. No fuss, no muss, no employees. When you see the stores locking everything up behind glass and forcing customers to select from a kiosk, it's a way to avoid paying people, right? Human workers, and lawsuits from all the sales staff loonies who weren't addressed by their mythical pronouns. Invest in Amazon, folks. Pretty soon, it'll be your only marketplace left. Why do you think the billionaires invest in these horrid soft-on-crime DAs? They want an excuse to close down brick and mortar, whatever. A little political towards the end, but he's right. And ladies and gentlemen, let's be brutally clear. I tell people I have bipolar. Not making fun of it. I tell people I have two personalities. Whiz. I'm going to tell you, Phil, as American, I can't stand Amazon. I can't stand Jeff Bezos. He's your typical limousine liberal, right? Let them eat cake. Roll down the window of your limousine. And I remember at the height of COVID, there was these Amazon workers were working their ass off. They didn't even have PPE or masks or anything like that. I can't stand Amazon. He literally makes my skin crawl. You know what, Wiz? Who gives a shit what you think? Then my other half of my personality is Gordon Gekko. Good. Don't pay those workers. All those workers in New York City that tried to unionize, Amazon fired them all. I loved it. So listen to me. Just like the Gordon Gekko in the movie Wall Street, Wiz, if you want a friend, get a dog. I'm going to teach you how to print money by just trading this name. Wiz, you can keep your morality. You're here to teach me how to trade and how to make money. Now, those were the threats. And I've kind of negated the threats to just trading Amazon. It is diversified in and of itself, folks. So what are the benefits of just trading Amazon? Well, guess what? You trade the same name, Amazon, and you're going to profit potentially no matter what direction Amazon goes, up, down, or sideways. Now, if you're just new to investing or you only trade stock, you only make money in three ways, right? I call it the buy, hope, and pray. You buy Amazon stock, you hope it goes up, and if it doesn't, you start praying. Those days are over with. I'm going to teach you to trade what are called options. And guess what? With options, you can make money if Amazon goes up. You can make money if Amazon goes down. You ready for this? Amazon can just kind of move sideways for a little bit, and you can make money. That's the beauty of trading options. It ain't rocket surgery, folks. It's actually pretty damn easy when you put your mind to it. You're going to stay focused on what? The news and events that impact Amazon instead of a bunch of different stocks and ETFs and all sorts of stuff. You're going to become an expert just in Amazon, reducing the time spent on other positions. Folks, I have a buddy who's an Apple market maker. I'm not joking when he doesn't even know a stock market exists. He's like, I don't care about anything but this name, the news and everything like that. I'm going to share with you a quick example. A buddy of mine is an orthopedic surgeon here in Boca Raton, God's waiting room. He's like, he heard about me years ago, and we met in person at a Starbucks because I need help trading. I'm like, all right, let's take a look. He booted up his laptop, logged into his account, his brokerage account, turned the laptop towards me, and thank God he's a doctor because I passed out and hit my head on the floor. Why? You ready for this? He had in his brokerage account 33 positions. Hand to God. 33. And he tried, I give him credit. He's a lifetime member now. He tried to explain. He's like, all right, well, I'm like, what is this? He's like, well, all right, that one right there, that's a pot stock, I think. And I'm like, well, did you just say I think? Yeah, and well, it's getting destroyed. This one's like a surgical stock. A buddy of mine put me in it. It's down. Listen to what he said. It's down 50%. But I'm waiting for it to get back up to where I bought it, and then I'll get out. I'm like, Doc, you're a doc, right? Yeah. That means you have somewhat of a brain. Well, yeah. Do the math on what the stock has to do to get up to where I'm like, stop talking. Shut up. We're destroying everything. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And, and I did it with love, folks, but how many of you are doing this? Folks, in the trading firm that I worked at in Chicago, we had a research desk. Like, when I say desk, it was like, you saw the picture of the trading floor. It's a massive desk, like 25 people on the research team. And guess what? Their job was to know, I think, like a senior researcher, maybe 5 names, and a junior researcher had like 1 or 2 names that they had to eat, breathe, and sleep. You know how many times they got shit wrong with a stock? I'd walk over to like, dude, you have one job. It's like a kicker and they miss. It's like, dude, you have one job and you screwed up. You got their earnings completely wrong. So tell me, no offense, little old retail trader with your 5, 7, 10 names in your brokerage account right now, how the hell do you do it? I do this for a living, folks, and I only have a handful of names because we have other services that we trade. But right now, my portfolio, folks, is Amazon and psychedelic stocks, and that's it. So trust me, if you and I'm not trying to poke you if you're sitting there looking at your other screen going, okay, he's talking to me. I have 9 names in my 9 positions in my account right now. Clean it up. Diversify, folks, with Amazon. Fly your F-35, okay? Now, if you're sitting here and you're going, Wiz, I love what you're saying. You're talking to me. I'm not taking offense because fighter pilots are direct. We love each other, man. We're brutally honest, so I'm being brutally honest with you. If you're sitting here going, I love it, but they bit me in the neck and I have to diversify. Guess what? You can also trade, not just Amazon. You can trade what? It's an ETF that's called XLY. This is the consumer discretionary ETF. What's an ETF? It's just a basket of stocks. In this basket of stocks, folks, the number one holding of this ETF is what? Amazon. I have a buddy who famously told me, he's like, Wiz, shrimp are simply a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. The XLY is a vehicle for eating Amazon because look at what else is in the XLY. Tesla, Home Depot, McDonald's, Nike, Starbucks, Lowe's, Target, Bookings, and TJX. The XLY. If you're sitting here going, I love Amazon, but I have to still diversify in other names, it's the XLY, folks. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you understand this. So in this service that you're going to get access to here in a little bit, it's called Solo Amazon, but you can also trade XLY. So how do we target Amazon? And if you want XLY for max profit, well, here's what I'm going to do. We hold the Solo Amazon live trade brief every Monday at 10 a.m. Okay. In the next one, once we get a good group of folks today and tonight, I'm going to establish what I call a beachhead, a base position. We're going to hop in that F-35 jet. And if it could, we'll go the speed of light. We're going to go the speed of light 2.5-ish years out into the future. I'm going to show you my brokerage platform in a second here and show you how we're going to do this. But we're going to go establish what we call a base position all the way out into the future, about 2.5 years out into the future, and we're going to get bullish. What's bullish mean if you're new to trading? We think it's going to go up. Bearish means you think something's going to go down. Bullish, something's going to go up. And I'm going to introduce to you a tactic, either a synthetic stock or a long call diagonal. Don't worry about the names. I'll teach you this stuff. But also look what's in the parentheses. Any positions I put on, I do what? I have some protection. I never went flying in that F-18, folks, and walked out to the jet to pre-flight it and looked at the chief and said, hey, chief, pull this ejection seat out because I'm awesome today and I'm not gonna need it. What do you? That would have been the day I got killed, folks. Never happened. So I'm going to show you to establish a bullish position, but also how to protect it. Once we establish that base position out into the future, then what do? Then we're going to put some trades on for what I call the front months. What's the front month? You're sitting in the front month, August, September, October. So right there, folks, you have two positions on, right? You got a long-term bullish position in Amazon and then a front month. If Amazon's going up in the front month, hey, man, we'll do some bullish spreads or buy some calls. Uh-oh, Amazon's going down. Who cares? We're going to make some money as it goes down doing bearish spreads or buying puts. And finally, well, Wiz, it's kind of boring. It's just moving sideways. I love moving sideways because I'm going to teach you a tactic called an iron condor that makes money if it's moving sideways. Isn't that awesome? So here's what we're going to do. Let's go look at my brokerage account. And I love looking at my other brokerage account as the S&P 500 implodes. This is, what is this? This is the primary portfolio because I take my, what I call S&P 500 sniper shots. $188,000 and probably I have some Amazon in here too. Up 18, 19 grand in Amazon. But look at this, just trading our S&P 500 trades, $164,000. And I want the S&P 500 to keep imploding because I have some bearish positions on. But let's look at Amazon. Here is a position that we put on Amazon 3 months ago. 3 months ago, and it's up nearly 10 grand or 160% in a couple months, folks. How do we do this? Okay. This is called synthetic stock. Instead of buying a bunch of Amazon shares and being a shareholder, I'm a cheap bastard. I use options to get synthetically long the stock. Let's go look. And what's an options, folks? And again, in a little bit, I'll tell you how you can join and I'll teach you all about options, but it's simply a contract. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free, right? So instead of buying Amazon stock, we're going to use an options contract. And with a little bit of training, you're going to go, I get it. I understand it. But let's look. This is an options chain, it's called. I'm going to just slide this thing all the way to the right. And I'm going to show you that, look at this, on the options chain, in the options world, I can go all the way out to December of 2025. God willing, we're all still here, not dead in a nuclear war. Dece of 2025. And we're going to establish a bullish position. I'm going to show you how to do that Monday morning at 10. But what I want to do right now is tell you about what I call a seasonal trade. Let me deselect December, and I'm going to select December of 23. What's that? 4 or 5? I can't even believe we're in August here and Christmas almost right around the corner. Seasonally, folks, and I tell TOPGUN Options members, and even if you don't join today, I'm going to give you this for free. I want you to do this right now. Open up your smartphone, and on October 1st, and make this a recurring meeting or something like annually that never expires because you never expire, you live forever. Anyway, October 1st, you put down Amazon, AMZN. Why? Seasonally, ladies and gentlemen, we have what is called what? A Santa Claus rally. Now, if you don't believe in Santa Claus, go watch the Polar Express. I don't care what you call it. Hanukkah, winter solstice, whatever you want. These names in Amazon tend to get on their horse and start climbing in the fall. Now, why do I put October 1st? And maybe put Amazon with a question mark. Why? Because Amazon usually takes off mid-October-ish, maybe even November-ish. November, you might be a little late to the Santa Claus rally. Why put Amazon question mark? Because, ladies and gentlemen, September, October, let's make them 1 month. September, October is usually the second most volatile month in trading. Kids are back in school. The rich limousine liberals are back from the Hamptons, and they start paying attention to the market. There's a whole host of reasons why September, October can be volatile, and you can see a little bit of a pullback getting ready for the Santa Claus rally. Okay, there's a whole host of reasons not to dig into it. But you could right now do what we call a Santa Claus trade. Okay, let's just talk real quick, and I don't want to dig too deep into this. Let's go take a look at the chart of Amazon here. Let's take a look at a 1-year chart because we've seen a monster run on Amazon since about March. Look at this. Beginning of March, middle of March, this thing has taken off and really hasn't looked back. We actually have a bearish trade on Amazon that is looking really good for tomorrow. Let me show you this real quick. Let's go. We placed this trade yesterday in our weekly options brief. Let's go look real quick because I haven't looked at it yet today. And since we're here, I'm going to go look at it. We did, and weekly options. Sorry, weekly options. For tomorrow. So this trade expires tomorrow, August 11th. It was the 141, 142 bear call spread. 141. Let's go look at that trade right now because I want to make sure it's still doing too good. Options tomorrow. So look at this trade, folks. We placed this yesterday. The 141, 142 trade that expires tomorrow. As long as Amazon's below 141 by tomorrow, this makes it's at 7 cents right now. You see that right there? It says 7 cents. Let's go look at what we placed it at yesterday. 26 cents. Okay, 26 cents, and it's at 7. Let's just say 6. So this trade is up 20 cents in a day. 75 contracts. 75 contracts times 20 cents. In one day, one trade is up $1,500. One day. If you're in that trade and you're a current member, you can close that. That's a nice, 70, 80% profit in a day. If you keep it to tomorrow, look at this, folks. This trade will make $2,000 in 3 days. When we placed this trade yesterday, there is a 75% probability of making $2,000, and it's up $1,500 right now. I would close this if you're currently in it, and I'll teach you this, folks. If you're brand new, you're like, damn, I should have been in that brief yesterday. Exactly. I have what are called SOPs, 70, 80, 90. If you are looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on that credit you took in, close it. Go on, Steve Miller, go on, take the money and run. Why? Pigs get slaughtered. Let's say between today and tomorrow, Jesus, Ganesh, Buddha, and Muhammad come back to life, and we're all now the CEO of Amazon, and the stock pops like, $100 on whatever good news. It can happen. You don't want to turn a 70, 80, or 90% winning trade into what? A 100% loser. That's part of the discipline and risk management I'm going to teach you here at Top Gun Options. So I'm glad, no offense, I was going to show you the Christmas trade, but I wanted to go take a look at the current Amazon trade that we have for the week. $1,500 in a day. Okay. Unlimited risk, folks. That was only risking about $5,500 in the worst case scenario. And that was based on 75 contracts. If you don't want to risk $5,500, you do as many contracts as you want. You want to risk double that, you double the contracts. I can't tell you what to do. I'm showing you, you're getting the eavesdrop on what I'm doing, managing the solo Amazon model portfolio. So that risk was defined and was limited. So a nice $1,500 profit in not even 24 hours. I like that. That pays for 2 years of your solo Amazon service. So men lie, trades don't. There you go. This trade was posted yesterday, 9 August brief, new Amazon bear call spread. I love it. So yeah, I will. That's what I'm getting ready to do right now. I was going to show you kind of a good Christmas trade, but I don't want to go too long on our time. I'll tell you what, that is a perfect segue to, yes, I will do that right now, folks. So I'll do that. Let me brief you on how you can join, and then I'll go back and take some questions and clean this up. But I am a stickler for time, man. When I say I'm going to start a brief and end a brief, I do it to the second. So real quick, and then I'll take all those questions about the Christmas trade and everything like that. Solo Amazon, folks, it's our newest live trading service here at Top Gun Options, and it's our most popular. Most of the other briefs, if you wanted to do some of the other stuff we do here at Top Gun Options, are about $167 a month, but that's because I'm trading different names, volatility or S&P 500. This, since I only trade one name, it's $97 a month. Okay. Or if you do an annual membership, it's $897 a year. You obviously get a, what's that, 25% discount if you do the annual. And I just showed you a trade that we did yesterday that made $1,500, not even in 20. Yeah, it's about 24 hours right now. 24 hours, $1,500, just paid for essentially close to 2 years. Let me give you both these links. I'll give you the $97 a month option and also the $897. Okay. So here you go. It's either $97 a month. And obviously, as a businessman, hey man, do the $97 a month for forever. That's not me. Save money. Try that out for a couple months. If do a test flight for 30 days for $97. And then after that, like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Upgrade and do the annual for $897. So let me give you a quick brief on what you get in the services, but I want to give you the links real quick because this is the first time I am going to announce this. I'll announce it now, and it's going to be on a slide. We are going to limit the number of members in here because solo Amazon is starting to get crowded. I don't want a crowd. I love being in my briefs. It gives me agita to look in the chat box right here and see all the questions. That's why we limit the number of members in our services. This is the first time in solo Amazon history I am going to limit the number of folks because we're bumping up on the max. I don't like shitty training. I love staying here and talking to everybody until the cows come home. So we are going to limit, first time in solo Amazon that we're actually going to limit the number of members. All right. So anyway, here's what you get. And real quick, I had the primary portfolio up, but look at this, close to, if you allow me to, no, I'm not going to round up. I put it on the slide. Nearly in the solo Amazon service, we're close to $100,000 year to date. I have 3 across different portfolios, synthetic stock and Amazon trades going down range. We have that, like the bear call spread I just showed you that's making $1,500. This service is awesome. Would you mind being up nearly $100,000 year to date just trading in Amazon? You can. And I think the rest of the year is going to be awesome. Hey, Wiz, every Monday morning at 10 a.m., I work for a living, dude. Well, guess what? About 80% of our members in our last survey work for a living and can't attend the briefs live. It doesn't matter. In the briefs, when I find a trade or whenever I find a trade, what do? I send out a text alert and also an email alert. It's like you're in the brief. You get a text alert and you get an email alert. Okay. There's an example of a text alert, and then obviously it fires the same time as the email. The email shows you a screenshot of the trade and the setup and everything like that. The replay is posted approximately 30 minutes after the brief. It takes about 30 minutes for the replay to render, and then I post it on the replay page. Okay. I'm so geeked. Been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is my first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you from the replay. So don't worry about it if you can't make the live brief Mondays at 10, because you get a text and email and you get the replay. You're also today going to get access to our workbooks, man. These things are worth their weight in gold. I read these things. I'll go knock the rust off every once in a while. Primary, intermediate, and advanced workbooks. Now, if you're a political science major from New Jersey like me, let's do some quick math. It's $97 a month. Yep. If you went to the TGO webpage to buy these manuals today, they're $197 total. So let me scratch my head real quick. Doing some political science math, you just made $100 or saved $100 precisely. Do it for 30 days, folks. Pay the $97 and get access to 5 live trade briefs, and you keep these. These are $197 you're going to keep. This is what my marketing team calls an irresistible offer. This is what I call stupid, but I defer to the marketing folks. I hate doing this stuff, but they're like, no, you give away the manuals that cost this much. I'm like, that's okay. Anyway, so you're saving $100. So here's what you're going to get today, and then I'll answer all the questions. You get access to the solo Amazon live trade brief every Monday morning at 10 a.m. You get the text and email alerts. You get the 3 skill-based manuals. You keep those, man. They're $197, and you get to keep them, and you get access to our online forum that is called the Ready Room. In between these briefs, or Monday at midnight, you have a question, you type it in the Ready Room. It's our interactive forum where our members hang out and interact back and forth. I'll give you the monthly link in a second here. It should be in the chat box. Bob, closed my synthetic stock for a 37 grand profit. Goose, 23,800 profit in a month. Chuck, thank you, Wiz, for the 3,500 Amazon calls. Yesterday, I closed 3 contracts at my 30% profit target. Cleared 15 grand. Also had 6 Amazon Jan 23 calls that also hit 30% for another 50. Folks, these are you. These people are you. They all started in a solo Amazon marketing brief like this. So for the folks asking for the monthly link, I'll give it to you right now. So if you want to test fly, it's only $97 a month. There's no, hey, the next month it goes up. It's $97 a month for as long as you want to do $97 a month. But like I said, folks, don't do that. Do it today. Take the $897, take the 20% discount. But I get it. Hey, man, let me make sure you're not a complete idiot and hang out for a couple months. That's fine with me. But here's what I also need you to do. Just like on Amazon, when you buy something, what do they say? Hey, people also bought this. I feel like the Flex Seal Tape guy. But wait, there's more. If you're sitting here like, Wiz, I'm new to investing, or I just trade stocks, you have got to do this. We call it full throttle training. It's only $195, folks. You're going to get access to 8 training sessions, folks. You ready for this? We start with, hey, this is the stock market. This is a call. This is a put. This is boom, boom, boom. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, you have got to take the training. I see other places, crappy places that charge a couple grand for this type of training, and it sucks. I've seen it. 109, because that's not where the value is, folks. The value is in the live trading and the briefs. I couldn't stand some of these places that charge a ton for training. Like, they give you a covered call brief, and then you're like, okay, now what do I do with that? Do you have any live or trade? No. It's you just get this training. Well, that's kind of dumb. How do I practically apply this? This is why this is awesome. We call it demo do. I demonstrate in the training. This is a synthetic stock. Here's how you do it. Then we get into a live trade brief and we do it. It's called demo do. So I'm telling you, if you don't take the training, it's not smart. SMRT, right? I love this one. So this guy, Utah, Mark Provo, the former Blue Angel, man, great American, good brother of mine. He's a FedEx guy. He joined a couple weeks ago. Less than 20 trading days, and I'm up 15 grand on a 40K account. I mean, and I'm like, well, if you could do it, anybody could do it. And that's a 38% return in like 20 days. So Utah, Blue Angel, FedEx pilot, really didn't know nothing, really anything about options, and the guy's crushing it. So here's what I am going to say. We're only going to take 50. I'm doing another brief tonight at 8. If you're in this one, you don't have to come tonight because I'm going to give this same brief. I might talk about the Christmas. Tonight I'll do the Christmas trade. How about that? Because the market's closed and I'll have a little bit more time. But I am going to limit it. We can't have a ton of people in this new service because I prefer quality over quantity. So my phone's buzzing a little bit, which means people are joining right now. We hit 50, we're gonna close the doors. I do this in my full throttle as well. We only do it every once in a while because I love this, folks. You don't go to Top Gun forever. It's really weird. People don't understand that. My greatest metric of success is in a year from now or whenever you send me an email that says, Wiz, I'm good. I learned and I'm going out to the fleet to do this on my own. I love it. Most people stay because they love the trade briefs and the trades and the camaraderie and the intel that I put out. I'd love for you to stay, but trust me, my metric of success is you going, dude, I got it, and I'm good to go. Okay. So solo Amazon, folks, like I said, all the other briefs are about $167 a month. I'll give it to you for $97 a month or a 20, 22, 25, whatever, 25% discount if you do the annual. Okay. And take the training. Take the 190. It's a bottle of wine, folks. It's a nice bottle of wine. $195 in training. All right, I'm going to answer some. Look at that, right through the bullseye. I looked over there, and the clock struck. I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. I'm Ricky Bobby. If you didn't learn anything today, I failed. But maybe you learned, hey, man, I need to diversify by being in one name. That might hit you wrong, but after this brief, I have completely destroyed that lie that you have got to diversify. This name, Amazon, is diversified in and of itself. As a matter of fact, it's one of the most diversified companies in the planet. Simplify your trading cockpit. Didn't want to offend you, but if you're sitting here looking at your brokerage account going, that's me. I got a ton of names and I'm scattered. Stop. This will make you feel better. It will simplify your life just following. I don't even care what Apple's doing or the VIX or the S&P 500. I care about Amazon. Okay, so this is the way, man. Trust me. All right, let me scroll up. I officially will go over the time limit to answer questions because I'm a nice guy. Yeah, I'll give you the monthly again. It's right here. So it's only $97 a month. Our middle son Jack is going to CU Boulder. He leaves Sunday, and we're all going out to dinner. We're doing a family dinner at a steakhouse on Friday night. I guarantee you our family dinner will be more than a solo Amazon membership for a month. And the $195 training it will be a bottle of wine, even though I don't drink that much anymore. I can do a nice glass of wine with a steak. There is the annual. Do the annual, folks, or do the monthly for a couple months and then write support and say, hey, I want to upgrade. All right, let me scroll up here. Rebecca. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. The No Fallen Heroes presentation. That's awesome. Instead of synthetic stock, could you do a zebra trade, i.e. buy 2 70 deltas and sell a 50 delta? That way you pay no extrinsic value. I love that. Very well put. That is a great question. Yes, it's I call it a Santa Claus trade or something like that, but we will get bullish. I mean, I'm already bullish. Let's go look at it again. I'm already bullish on Amazon out into the future with this synthetic stock trade. It's been on for a couple months. It's up $9. That's $3,000 a month we've made. It's been on for 3 months, more than $3,000. We're averaging $3,000 a month. That's like a mortgage payment, right? We're averaging $3,000 a month in this Amazon trade, and it's up 160%. But what I'm getting at is we're going to put on what we call a seasonal trade. When you look at the history of Amazon, usually you get an October, November, December run up as Christmas starts coming, right? And you get Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that type of stuff. So I've been trading Amazon. I can't even remember when I started trading Amazon decades ago. Knock on wood, there are Octobers where that doesn't happen, or November, but that's few and far between. I think in 2018, Jerome Powell had like an October 3rd or 4th press conference about raising interest rates. And from October 3rd or 4th to my birthday, New Year's Eve, it was a bear market. That was the exception. But most of the time, these type of names, and that you see it, right, folks? How many times do you see a Black Friday story like, oh my God, Amazon reports its best year ever? Seems like you can set your watch to it, your calendar to it. Every October, November, December, Amazon comes out and says, we destroyed Christmas. We're hiring more people, and we've never seen this type of volume. Even when the economy's kind of bad, which I feel like we're entering, people still spend. So I will cover that. I'll cover that tonight. But I have to do my other brief for the intro. So if I bored you with my intro, maybe show up at the half an hour point tonight if you want to see the Christmas trade. Or actually, don't do that. Join the service, and then I'll definitely show you the Christmas trade. All right, let me scroll down a couple more. Sorry about that. Steve, do you do any credit spreads in solo Amazon? So Steve, that's exactly what we did yesterday. This trade right here, this Amazon bear call spread that we did yesterday, August 9th, is a credit spread. This is called a bear call spread, right? So we sold the 141 calls and bought the 142s. This brought in a credit yesterday of $2,000. So this is a credit spread right here. Yep, you bet. I love doing credit spreads. So Steve, I prefer to do credit spreads over debit spreads. I don't like debit spreads. Why? It's called theta, time decay. I don't like losing money. Theta eats away at the trade. I'll teach you all this stuff, folks. If you're not getting what Steve asked here, what's a credit spread? That's why you join Solo Amazon and you also take the training. Do the $195 training, and you're going to learn what a credit spread is. So, Steve, absolutely, love doing credit spreads. With this one being up $1,500 in a day, and looking potentially to hit max profit by tomorrow of $2,000 in 2 days. It's a beautiful looking trade. So, absolutely. Yeah, nope. It's $97 a month. Ain't no hidden anything. This rebills at $97 a month for the rest of your life until you cancel. So this isn't the introductory $97 a month and it goes up the next month to $1 billion. It's $97 a month until you want to do this. Stop wasting money and do the $897. It's cheaper to do the annual. So, Steve, absolutely, we do stop losses. You absolutely. So I just briefed you a little bit on what my SOP, my standard operating procedure for this trade is take profits at 7, 8, 9, right? 70, 80, 90%. I close credit spreads. What do I also do, Steve? If I get filled at 26 cents, let me give you some more political science math. Double that. That's 52 cents. When would I maybe eject from this trade for minimum loss? I just simply double the credit that I take in, and that's my potential stop loss point. So absolutely, man. We do all that stuff. Yep. I treat this as deadly serious, folks. The same thing as a fighter pilot mission. So we have an SOP, standard operating procedure, and I will teach you all of this stuff. Again, folks, if you're new to investing or you just trade stocks, take the full throttle training. It's only $195 and you will learn all of this stuff. And then I will teach you all of it live in the live trade briefs. That's what we do. It's called Demo Do. I demonstrate in the training videos and then we go do live in the market. Okay. It works, folks. The Demo Do is awesome. I wasn't born a Navy fighter pilot or awesome. I had to read the books. I had to jump into the simulators, and then we got airborne with an instructor in the back seat, and that's me. Okay. Trey, awesome. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Yep, absolutely. Good. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Okay, good stuff. Like I said, tonight, so you already received the same brief I'm going to give tonight, except in the middle, I'll do the Santa Claus trade. Let me give you the replay page here in case anybody came in late. Go.topgunoptions.com/ it's solo replay. Let me give you the replay. I will post this replay on this page once we get done. And then tonight's brief will be posted on this page as well. So here is the replay page in case you came in late, because I saw a kind of a spike in folks coming in a little late. So there is obviously the one from last quarter is on this page. Don't go watch it yet because I'm going to go stretch my legs, get a cup of coffee, and it takes about 20, 30 minutes, and I'll post the replay on this page. And then obviously you can scroll down to either do the monthly membership right there or scroll all the way to the bottom to do the annual. So I appreciate that. Cool. Awesome, folks. Only went over by 8 minutes, but technically I finished right to the second and then answered questions. So flawless execution because I respect people's time. Start on time and we end on time. So good stuff, folks. Like I said, we're having a blast. I'm very passionate about what I do here at Top Gun Options. Obviously, very passionate about what I do with our foundation as well. Once you join Top Gun Options, you'll get a lot more updates about what we do to help save and change lives with psychedelic assisted therapy. If you're interested, one last final thing, we post all of our podcasts on the No Fallen Heroes page right here. This most recent podcast is me with an F-14 guy named Slider, where he debriefs his psychedelic experience. This guy, that's a podcast you should really watch because Slider, just an incredible human being. He had a weapons delivery go wrong over Iraq. no fault of his own, man, but they dropped on a house with 3 generations of Iraqis in there, and 12 people were killed with this bad weapons delivery. And that dude was suicidal. Drugs, alcohol. But I'm here to tell you, after doing psychedelic assisted therapy, Slider is a completely different human being. It's incredible to see the difference in Slider. So you can watch the podcast there, or if you can just go to Max Afterburner podcast on Apple Podcasts or Stitch or anything like that. So if you're getting ready to go get stuck in traffic, you can listen to them, or you're going to the gym to work out, or you can watch them on the No Fallen Heroes page. So yeah, absolutely. I'll put that link right here. Cool. All right, folks, I appreciate it. Like I said, we're having a blast. Solo Amazon, the stock, the earnings were insane. And I think this is a $200 stock in a couple years, easily. And remember, with kind of the volatility we're seeing, this was a monster run from June to August 1st. Now we're giving some of that back. I have this saying: when in doubt, run to Ma, with a small a. Microsoft, Amazon, little Apple. I'm not a big Apple guy. It's got too much China risk. So when in doubt, run to Ma. Even if the market is going to pull back and give up some of this rally, the 2 names that you can never go wrong with are Ma. When you're scared or when in doubt, run to Ma. But obviously, in my personal portfolios, I have a ton of Amazon and psychedelic stocks. Those are the only names that I need to own. So I appreciate your time today. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, wiz@TOPGUN Options. But my phone's been buzzing a lot, which means we got a ton of new members. Like I said, I'm going to shut the doors at 50. Can't do more than 50, folks, because it's too crowded in the service, and it turns into the Battle of Britain. Okay, so one more time, there's your monthly for $97, and then make sure you take the $195 to do the training, and then this is the annual. You save 25% on doing the annual today. And men lie, trades don't. I just showed you a trade that we did yesterday that made 15. It's currently, I need to close it though. I'm going to close that, and Steve Miller, take the money and run. $1,500 in a day on one trade. I love it. All right, folks, if you want to come tonight, I'll see you tonight. If not, you got your solo Amazon brief, and we're closing the doors at 50. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. Fights on. Namaste and basi basi. I'll see you next time, and welcome aboard to all the new people buzzing my phone. God bless, and I'll talk to you later.